Hi, everybody. Hi, FloraCraft gang. Hey! Hi, Jay. Everyone back to work. Today's project involves the new organic mechanic from FloraCraft. Now, straw is not necessarily new, but it's a great, green, earth-friendly mechanic for us to use in today's project. The straw that FloraCraft creates is made in Mexico, where the sun is able to bleach the straw so it's the cleanest and the whitest straw in the marketplace. Today, we'll combine shapes to create our container and accent them with permanent botanicals. So let's get started with today's project. It's important for us to realize that the organic mechanic straw has been around for a long period of time. The gang in the flower shop has been using wreaths like this for years to create a fall wreath or possibly a sympathy mechanic. But straw comes in many different shapes and sizes. We have swags, we have the bales. There's a large size porch bale that looks great for outside decoration. We've got a large bale like this, a medium size, a mini bale, and even a micro bale. This is perfect for the floral shop gang. That's going to make a huge mess. What are we going to do with this? Don't worry, guys. I'll show you. So today, we're going to use the large bale as the container for our project. It's great because all of the straw comes wrapped in plastic, because it makes a pretty big mess when you open it up. This might be a great project to even do in the garage. We'll knock off the loose straw on the outside. And imagine this as our container and also where we'll make our flower placements. We'll use the smaller bales, the mini bales, as feet on the bottom of our container. We need 4 of those bales. And we're going to set those on their side so that the wires show. And those will be the feet for our container. We'll attach the 4 feet using our double-ended Coe wood pick. The Coe wood pick is easy to insert into the side of the bale. And when I insert it in there, I'll dip it in the hot glue and place it directly into the straw bale. Just dipping it into the hot glue allows it to be secure when I've placed it into the bale. Now, placing these picks into the side of the bale is fairly easy. But if I wanted to place them into this end, I'll have to use the JTV trick of the week. I'll use an awl and actually make a hole ahead of time for that pick. Because the straw is compacted so tightly in Mexico where it's created, we'll sometimes need that awl to make that placement first so we don't break our wood pick. Then our wood pick can easily be placed into the straw bale. For our feet placements, we'll be using it on the side. So this will come in handy a little bit later when we're adding our floral placements. So we'll add wood picks to all 4 feet. Now we're ready to place the feet into the straw bale. I'll add them on the top because it's an easier way for me to do it. Dipping the ends of the pick in the hot glue first and then placing them directly into the bigger straw bale. Remember, we want our glue to be about 220 degrees. So it's about the consistency of taffy. It dries very quickly, so we're able to get that glue on the ends of the picks and place them directly into the straw and have them be secure. That gives our straw bale the 4 wonderful little feet. Now we're ready to place our wreath on top of our straw bale. We'll allow our wreath to stand up rather than hang on the wall this time. Again, we'll place our wood picks with the hot glue directly into the bottom of the wreath itself. Then we'll apply a good quantity of glue to the wood picks and place that in the center of our straw bale. Now we have a great standing wreath form, and we need the accents of our flowers. The first placement will be our foliage, which we'll do with an entire ivy bush. I selected this one because it has long tendrils and also has short tendrils as well. That's a pretty big stem that we'll be placing into our straw bale, so we'll want to create a hole for it first. Again, using our JTV trick of the week and our awl. An awl is like an ice pick. It's available at any hardware store, and it allows us to probe into the straw and make a hole big enough for this stem to go into. We'll want it to go in on the back side right here. So we'll just put the awl in and work that around a little bit. It helps loosen up the straw, and it's going to allow me to place that stem easily into my straw bale. I'll even try it first before I add the glue to make sure that it's going to sit in there tight. That's going to be perfect. We use our paintbrush to apply a good quantity of glue to that stem on the ivy bush and place that directly into the straw bale. This is actually going to be on the back side, so the shorter stems will be seen through the middle of the wreath, and our longer pieces we'll add up front. Here, I'm tucking them right underneath that wreath form. We can even bring some up around the wreath itself. The great thing about the permanent silk botanicals is that they're all wired, so I can shape these and give them a little curl up on the ends so that they look extremely realistic. Continue with those same shapes on this side. It's one of the great things about silk botanicals is we can control them and make them go exactly where we want them to be. It's kind of like improving on Mother Nature. So now we've created an entire foliage base, and we just need to add our flowers. We'll start with our line flowers, and then add our focal flowers, and then some of our interest flowers. One of the most popular flowers we saw this year at market was the Chinese lantern. I like using that as a line flower because it's going to help us define the shape of our arrangement. We dip the end of the stem in the glue and place it directly into the straw itself. I want to make sure that I move those stems out of the way so that I'm not trying to go through any of the leaves or any of the stems on my ivy bush. We can also use these and hold these in a position. I see a lot of designers do this, and I think it's a really great way for you to experiment in your mind about how the arrangement's going to visually look. So a piece like this will be great because it'll come down here and follow all the way up to the other side. We'll cut that off here, add our glue to the end, move our leaves out of the way, and place that directly into the straw. We can bend and shape this after we've placed it to make sure that it's going in the right direction. Because our line extension comes out here so far, I think I want another one right about here. Now we're ready to add some of our focal flowers. I picked out these gerbers from Windward because they look very realistic, and that orange punch is going to be perfect as the focal point in our arrangement. You know, one of the keys to creating a permanent botanical arrangement is having the right tools. I never go anywhere without my Nip-X. This is a piano wire cutter that's created by Nip-X, and it works great for cutting permanent botanicals. It saves my hands so much wear and tear. We'll start by adding those gerbers. On this side of the arrangement, helping increase the focal area that we've already created with this part of our ivy bush. You'll notice that I'm cutting the gerbers at different lengths, having some lower and taller. It helps give depth and dimension to this part of the arrangement. We'll also add others on the back side so that our arrangement doesn't become completely one-sided and flat. Again, because these are permanent botanicals, I can shape and form these so that they bend in just the right direction. We'll use this one on the back side and have him just peeking out over the top of that wreath form. If we look at this from the back side, you'll notice that we've got different dimensions, or even better, from the side, seeing how these flowers are lying on different planes. Remember, if we want this to be a two-sided arrangement, it's going to be important to put something back here as well. We'll add a few more of the gerbers at this end to continue that color and shape throughout the arrangement. So let's add our last gerber on the back side. That way, we have a little attention grabber on this side of the arrangement as well. See, it's coming along great, you guys. I have a couple of interest flowers, a ranuncula and a dahlia. I've only got single stems of those because they're a little bit different and have a little bit different texture than the other types of flowers I've used. That's why we call them interest flowers, because they cause interest throughout the arrangement. It's something different for your eye to see as it travels throughout the design. We'll put the dahlia front and center. We've got the bud from the dahlia. That we can add over here on the end. It's great to note that all permanent botanicals have different types of foliages. So those different foliages look unique and different from one another. They also add more interest and texture to the design. We'll add a ranuncula in the center. Also remembering that anytime we have a circle in a design, whatever we put in the center is the most important thing. Our eye is naturally going to be drawn to this point right here. So we want those special flowers as close to that area as possible. Making sure that we have a little bit of chartreuse green in our design is also going to punch up the colors just a little bit more. So we'll add a little bit of this chartreuse green flowering grass. That great color makes this orange even hotter. We'll add a little bit more on the other side too, just to keep the continuity of our arrangement correct, so that we have that same product flowing through the design. Now again, I'm going to bend these beautiful permanent botanicals so that they fall down, but then, as they would normally outside, reflects up towards the sun. I think that's looking really great. I've got a couple other things here, and you know, I'm always overly zealous. I always make sure I have plenty of stuff. But if I added all of this today, I'd probably overdo it. And I'm known for doing that. So I think we'll add just a couple more things and we'll be done with this. Restraint is probably one of the most difficult portions of design to learn. And again, remember, you can take the ideas that you see and do whatever you want. You can add more flowers or less flowers. You can make it blue and purple if you want. You're in control of the creative process. I want to add just a touch of ribbon to this. And I think this plaid is the best because it incorporates both colors, the orange and the green. You know, I remember growing up in the flower shop. We would take and we'd make these big bows and we'd always put them on Coe picks and put them on the back of the door, and then when you were finished with an arrangement, you'd bring that big bow over and slam it into the center, and that would be the interest or the focal area of the design. With today's new wired ribbons, we can use it as an element and principle of design. So we're going to be able to weave this through our design and have it just be an accent to the flowers themselves. kind of like to get an idea of where I'm going to place it. And then I can come back just using one of the stems that I've cut off from one of the permanent botanical flowers and push this ribbon directly into the straw itself. And this piece, we're going to push directly into the frame of the wreath form. Now, the one last thing I want to add to this, my final step, is a little addition of whimsy. And I think a butterfly will be perfect for that. Orange monarch butterflies have been so popular. These come on a wonderful little wire. And we can take that wire and shape it with our hand so that those butterflies look as if they're flying. Just glue that into the side and move it into position. I'll add one more right down here. Again, notice that I've got them facing towards the center of the circle. It's all repeating that same circular line in my design. Now, just for fun, I'm going to accessorize this with a couple of things that I saw from my friend Dondi at FloraCraft. Bale buddies. These are created using the mini bale and the micro bale. I've got a cute little horse like that. And hey, that might be fun for one of the floor shop people to ride. Here you go. You can sit right up in here. Ah! We've got another guy, another bale buddy to go along with that. It's a fun way for us to make an interactive piece that goes along with our design. Wonderful for the fall, great for summertime. It's a fun way to use straw, the organic mechanic, in an all-new way. So what did we learn today? We learned that the organic mechanic from FloraCraft, our straw product, is multifunctional. A wreath doesn't necessarily have to hang on a wall, and that this product works well with permanent botanicals. And we used our Nip-X so that we saved our hands. What did you learn today?
It wasn't so messy after all. I love using the bale as the container.
Yeah, I thought so. Lots of fun things that are able to happen when we use a green product like straw. This week, I'd like to thank our friends at FloraCraft for creating our great mechanic, straw. And to the Flora Shop gang for keeping an open mind about using a traditional product in a brand new way. Until next week, keep having fun with flowers.
Oh, that's a little fast. Whoa, speckles! Ow, my shoulder.